This episode of Boss Rush After Dark is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support our family of podcasts, head over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia or search for us on the Patreon app on your smart device. Thanks for helping us build something better.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the Boss Rush Network. It's your host, LeRon Dawkins here, and back with me, as always, are my wonderful colleagues, the one, the only, Stephanie Klimov. Hey.
Hello, friend. Good evening.
Hey, I know you're still under the weather, but, thank you for toughening it out.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Three
Yep.
motherfucking weeks. 3 weeks.
Been there.
I really hope, like, do you feel like you're over the hump yet?
No.
Or
No, it's just different.
Jesus.
And I'm not sure if I updated you, but I went to urgent care today because I'm like, I'm getting prednisone. That's the only thing. And that nurse was like, well, you're not wheezing enough. And I bit my tongue. I wanted to pull my pharmacist card. I'm like, listen, I am the king of all drugs. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I want prednisone. Give me fucking prednisone. I am not asking for Oxy. I'm not asking for Ativan. I'm not asking for antibiotic. Like, I'm not asking for shit that people are like trying to get on purpose. I just want some like 2 cents dirt cheap prednisone, okay?
The Walter White
when the
pharmaceuticals over here.
When the pharmacist turns into the customer she cannot stand.
But it's okay. I internalized my anger.
Are you sure? Because you sounded pretty angry just now.
Well, not to her. Anyway.
The aftermath.
And as always by our side is the master, Corey Deering himself.
Hello. Happy to be here. I'm happy to talk jobs, drugs, and rock and roll.
Well, I mean, speaking of drugs, are you finally all better now? Because like you've been nursing like bronchitis since Thanksgiving.
I know. As of I think so. I still have like this. So I'm back to the normal. I had COVID 7-8 months ago, kind of lingering cough thing going on, but I think the bronchitis stuff is over.
So wait, so you're literally telling me that you've had long COVID for over half a year now?
Since June. I've been coughing like not like super hard, but just like a like that kind of thing, like since June.
My one and only COVID thing is that I still have to take a nap in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Like as soon as the Nintendo Direct was over, like I got on the bed, took a nap for however long it took for Metroid Prime to like download, and then I was back up and was playing.
Yeah, the thing too is like I still can't like smell or taste things correctly. Like,
oh my god,
my salt and pepper intake has probably tripled since I had COVID because I can't really like taste things correctly.
Watch your blood pressure, brother. Watch it.
It's good. I got it checked out twice. Okay, my blood pressure is good. I went to the doctor for a checkup after I had COVID. It was fine. And then when I went to get drugs for my terrible habit of coughing,
we only tell you these things because we love you.
Yeah.
All right, and joining us tonight is a special guest. I'm going to botch like any introduction I give him, so I just want to go ahead and welcome to the show Chase Bethea, who's a composer and a technical audio designer in the wonderful realm of video gaming. So, hello, Chase. How's it going?
Good, LeRon. How are you? Hey, everyone else. What's going on?
Man.
Man, Chase is so cool, man. Like
I know.
I mean, spoilers. We record After Dark right after the Boss Rush podcast, so he's on an episode of the Boss Rush podcast that's coming up. But like, man, the things that you do, so cool. It's so cool.
Thank you.
We're making you an honorary Rushy. We're making you an honorary Rushy here.
Yeah, we're gonna give you. You'll be getting a sticker in the mail that I don't know.
Sticker and a pin. I'll wear that with honor when I do my talk at GDC this year. Let them know. Yeah.
I want a sticker. How come I didn't get a sticker? Lame.
Speaking of stickers,
Chase is-
Stephanie, guess who appealed our T Public
You did.
thing
Did you get a
again?
response?
Not yet, but
Okay.
they angered me. And there's no other store that is like, worth half its
Yeah.
weight in quality. But side tangent, Chase. We have a store on Redbubble, but like the quality is not very good on some of the stuff.
Yeah.
So we went to Teespring, and the
Yeah.
quality is great, but they said that our Boss Rush Media vertical logo, the BRM vertical logo, infringed on a copyright claim on the Atari logo, and so they shut down our store.
What?
Yeah. And so I'm like, what is going on here?
Have you heard of Printify?
No.
Printify. No.
I found out about this through another thing that I went listening to, and out of this whole thing that I listened to about that I'd got nothing from, Printify came up, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" So I thought I'd share what it is in terms of like an option of something that might be helpful to you all.
Ooh. Oh, thanks.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Good to know.
This is now starred, so I can look at that in the future. So.
All right, so just to get out there real quickly, Chase, just give our just give our listeners and our viewers just a real quick rundown of yourself.
Sure. So
I know this is like the fourth time you've done this for Boss Rush now.
Yeah.
It's okay. I love it. So I'm Chase Bethea. I'm a professional video game composer and technical audio designer. I've been working in the industry for 12 years. January marked my 12th year in the industry doing games, music for games, and I've shipped about 21 games in that time. I specialize in working specifically with interactive and dynamic music, so tying to specific mechanics, and a small insight to a talk I'm giving at GDC is just how I've worked with different programmers to align music systems that work with just changing the items versus changing the area. So little nuances like that, or building something whereas in a fighting game where the music is seamless from the menu screen to the victory screen, whereas you can't tell if it's a different track or not. And so I really enjoy what I do. I'm passionate about it. I've been playing games since I was 6 years old. I own about 800 physical copies of games. So this is specifically my world, my space, my love.
Wow,
Man, every time he explains what he does,
it's never.
He sounds way smarter than I will ever sound ever.
Yeah, and it never gets less impressive when he says how many physical copies of games he has. Because I'm sitting here like, man, like I can't even fathom like having that much stuff.
But see, y'all have lovely PS5s. I don't have that yet. I need to get a Steam Deck, PS5, and
you
Xbox.
can have mine. I don't play mine.
I need to get my Steam. I need to get a Steam Deck.
I need my MetaQuest things. I got games to write for and stuff. I'm actually writing music for a CPC Amstrad right now, which I never thought I'd be writing. Which is, if you're not familiar, it's a ZX Spectrum or a Commodore 64 competitor, and it's in tracker form, which is what composers like Jesper Kuud, if you're not familiar, who wrote for Hitman and Assassin's Creed, he used that type of music software back in the day when we have Sega fans in here. So it's the Subterraneo on Sega Genesis was that style. So it's the gamut just runs really large in those specs. It's really cool.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Deering, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Drew. Thank you for your continued support.
Cool. All right, so just give everybody a heads up, check the show notes. At the end of the recording, stuff like that. You'll find all the links, all the socials, and everything on how to get in contact with everybody here in the show tonight. And we're just gonna go ahead and just get started and roll right on into our first topic tonight. So I'm submitting this as a topic because like this happens to me all day in and day out. Honestly, like let's talk about our first world problems, or better yet, the small things that happen to you that are just become like the major inconveniences to you for the rest of your freaking day and stuff like that. Like
Like when a
like
school bus pulls out in front of you when you have to
Yes.
slam on your brakes and there's literally nobody else behind you.
Mhm.
yeah,
That happens to me at
yes.
least twice a day.
Stuff like that, or you're folding your laundry, and you know you had an even number of socks going in, but for some strange reason now you're missing a sock.
I have a story to tell you. Okay, so I love my wife dearly. I love her to death. Okay,
Oh no!
Here we go.
Small
I love her to
caveat.
death.
He's coming. He's
So-
coming for the wife.
No, so I'm one of those people that like I actually really like to do my own laundry. So like I will do it on the weekends, like when like my son is napping and my wife's working on something or something, whatever. So lately she's been doing the laundry during the week while I'm at work, and she'll like do my clothes, right? And I'm like, well, I get that's okay. But then I started like getting my socks out of my drawer and stuff, and I notice that they don't match. They're just
Oh.
like the white socks are with the white socks and the black socks are with the black socks, but they don't match. They're not like the same sock.
They're not the same style of sock, basically.
Yeah. So the other day I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta fix this. So I pull all the socks out of the drawer and I'm like matching them back up. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, none of the socks match. She's like, they're socks. I'm like, you don't understand. You don't understand. This sock is an Under Armour sock. It is an Under Armour no-show sock. It needs to go with the other Under Armour no-show sock. This one has a light rim around the top of the sock. This other one has a light rim. These are my work socks because I don't want my work shoes to rub up against my feet. So, it's just, it got really weird. And I understand that the deeper I go with the story, it sounds even weirder, but like socks got to match. Like, I understand, like, if you want to have like the cool long socks, right? Like you can have mismatching socks. And I know that's a thing, but like, if they're like no shows or like just like basic socks, they got to match. They got to go together.
No, I'm kind of triggered. My OCD is triggered by that stuff too, because like I feel like it's like the first level of hell when like people are just like wearing mismatched socks all the damn time and stuff like that. It's a thing that you know how like some people they get visibly upset. If you see people eating Kit Kat bars and they're not breaking them, individually,
Oh
and
my
they're just
gosh.
biting the whole bar.
But what are
Or
you even
Twizzlers or
doing
cheese
with your
sticks.
life?
Because I'm literally one of those people. Like if it's a Kit Kat minis, like I'll just go ahead and just bite those like they're a candy bar or whatnot. But like if it's like the regular Kit Kats or the king size, yeah, I'm breaking them off one at a time and stuff like that. But I know people. It doesn't matter. Like they will get all sorts of butt hurt real fast.
Another thing that bothers me is that, okay, so I have to ask this question. When you pour a bowl of cereal, not that, I mean, you guys are all in way better shape than I am.
Please don't ask if milk goes in the bowl first. Please don't ask that question.
Are you a cereal first guy or a milk first person?
Cereal first.
Cereal first.
Cereal first.
My wife is a milk first person.
Well, I gotta ration how much milk because I don't want them to be soggy before. And depending on what cereal it is, like, is it Captain Crunch? Is it shredded wheat? Is it Cocoa Puffs?
You have to have that milk to cereal ratio because some types of cereals call for more milk than others.
Yeah,
tricks.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, and then like if you have something like Life, you don't want as much milk in there because like then the life gets soggy and
life gets sucked out of it.
Like any chocolate cereal, like it automatically is getting less milk than like the other cereal, dude. Because like I want that really good like chocolate milk, at the end of it.
At the end,
yeah, man,
honeycomb,
honeycomb.
Corey's wife is triggering all his like ticks like every day at the house.
It's like, do you park the car in reverse or do you pull up in the driveway?
That's
okay. In my own driveway.
This was a fun question. I just threw it out there. I didn't mean it. I was not being serious about this at all. It was just an example.
In my own driveway, the car is in reverse. Most other places I go, like it's usually I just pull right in.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's like 1,000 things that I do that my wife hates, but like that was like those are like the two things I'm just like
Don't do my
I'm not
laundry
saying
again.
anything because I have to go to work and I don't really feel
I
like
don't have any
arguing before I go to
socks.
work, but what are you doing?
I'm late for work. I don't
Yeah.
have any socks.
Oh man.
A lot of
No,
things
yes.
that just get under my skin are just me needing to mind my own business though, because speaking of parking, it's when I see someone park like a jerk where I almost let it ruin my day. Like someone parks over the line, like really egregiously. I need to start like getting these business cards or stickers and be like, thanks for parking like an asshole. Like I really feel like I have to say my piece. It's the same thing, and I know this is obnoxious. So like I at least acknowledge it's obnoxious, and I don't act out on it, but I'm cursing in my head. Is when I go out of my way to be courteous when I'm driving, for example, and I let someone go, I was raised to say thank you in some way, a gesture. Like when someone does not say thank you, I'll be like, "You're welcome, you motherfucker." Like I flip them off like underneath the wheel because I'm too much of a wuss to actually really flip them off. But it actually bothers me and kind of semi ruins my day. I'm like, what?
No
What?
manners.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on,
no,
man.
manners, yeah. Manners maketh man and woman. No, for sure. I definitely concur with this a lot because it happens in grocery stores where you
Mhm.
typically someone's like hogging the aisle or they want it there and they don't know. They say, excuse me, and then they walk up front of you and grab something and like, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing? Like, I'm standing here, bitch.
Nah, speaking of things that really just like damage my calm at the grocery store, people who are inept at the self checkout. Like they don't know how to properly scan their shit, or they don't know how to put it in the damn bagging area
Where they go with
properly.
It's
alcohol.
It's,
You
it's
can't
like
do
if
that.
you have something that needs an ID, just go to a regular checkout line.
yeah.
You know,
You're gonna have to
The,
stand there like the
the,
old days. Sorry.
I'm
yeah.
like, bitch, do you see this line back here? You decide you want to get 7 bottles of wine with 9 people standing behind you waiting to use the damn self checkout, and we've all got like 3 items.
And it's not just the self checkout too. Like when you get to even when you're at like a regular checkout and somebody's fumbling with their debit card like they've never seen a plastic card before, it's like it's the
Oh,
same machine in every single gas station and grocery store and restaurant. Just put the thing in. And if you don't have
let
a chip, slide it. Like
Or
it,
tap
it
let
it.
me let me one up you right there, because there are still people who write goddamn checks at the fucking grocery
I
store,
know.
and I'm like, Patty, if you don't get the fuck out this damn line,
With
trying
your
to find your opinion,
coupons and your checks.
and you're gonna balance your damn checkbook at the same damn time while we're up here waiting. Come
Yeah,
on.
that
Don't
was
forget the rebates.
Mhm.
Oh,
gosh.
even worse though. Even one more thing about checkout lines, and I'm gonna let it go. Even worse is when like like somebody you stand behind lines that you had a full cart full of stuff, right? And they pay for it and everything. The cashier hands them the receipt, and then they study the fuck out of the receipt. They
That's my
Oh
don't they
yeah.
mom.
don't they don't move. They study the fuck out of the receipt right there at the line. It's like, hey, at least get to the edge of the aisle and do that.
Yeah.
I'll be happy. Like if you find a discrepancy, I'll be happy to like pause what I'm doing so you can talk to the cashier, or
Yeah.
even go take yourself to the customer service desk.
It's so true. I was just grocery shopping the other day, and this guy got his. I don't know what he was waiting for, and where I'm at, they got like a Trader Joe's. So I was waiting. That those lines are kind of small, so he
Yeah.
was. Guy gave him his receipt and was done. And I'm thinking, it's always like when you're at the car wash. We're like, are you gonna move? Are you waiting for your car to dry? Are you gonna move?
Mhm.
I gotta bag my stuff. I don't know who's. Are you gonna bag my stuff? Move! Like, fuck
Mhm.
out of here! It's like, what are you
Yes.
doing?
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't stand when like I'm in stores and the person in front of me is walking like half a mile an hour.
Mhm.
And it's a group of people, so it's a group of people like 3 wide, and you can't get around them in the aisle
Yeah.
and stuff, and you just,
Or or like when you go to Aldi and like it's like literally like a snake. Like you have to go one way this way and then one
yeah,
way behind you, and then
yes.
somebody and like the aisles aren't really wide enough for two people and carts. So like you kind of have to wait, and then the line behind you starts piling up, and then you get like there's too many people around me. You guys just move. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Get away from me.
Yeah,
This is
for real.
look, if I wasn't married and I didn't have kids, like I would be using apps and having food delivered to me, and I would never touch another grocery store again. But whatever, it's fine. So,
God, I could go on about this.
I know,
Like,
it's good.
Like this is my topic from last week because I just really I just really need to.
We're gonna.
Your DoorDash came. That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
Dinner was like, oh.
Oh man, I'm hungry, man. I've been like trying to eat better this whole year, and I'm doing pretty good. But man,
Except for that gigantic burrito that you had that I heard you that ingested on Nintendo
here's the
Power Block.
thing: I get one meal on Saturdays. Okay, that's the
Mm.
rule, and that was what I picked, and it was delicious. So
You know what? Speaking of things that inconvenience you, whenever then this happened just last weekend actually. Go to Chipotle, got myself a nice bowl and everything. Was a little upset that they didn't have like pinto beans. It was a random time when I wanted pinto beans instead of black beans. They didn't have it and stuff like that. They didn't have damn chips.
what?
They didn't have damn chips.
You run out of chips a lot.
I kid you not. If they had not made my bowl, I would not have. I would have left the store without getting anything there. If they had not already made my bowl, I would have been done because that was the main reason why I went to Chipotle. Well, actually, no, I went to Chipotle to get a meal, but at the same time, like I always get chips. I always get chips when I'm at Chipotle, and they did not have them. And I was like, "You dirty motherfuckers! Y'all didn't have a sign up. Y'all didn't have a sign up anywhere." And the sad part is, they have tons of like burritos and stuff like that. All they gotta do is just hack them bastards up and throw them in the fryer real fast. You got damn chips. Like, what the hell?
Cut them flowers up, put them in the fryer.
I'm like, why do I have to go to the lazy ass Chipotle for dinner tonight?
You just totally reminded me of something that really annoys me, and it happens in this area in particular more often than not, is when I go to the gas station to either get something or get gas or whatever, and like the pump ATM, the pump thing is broken, so you have to go inside and wait. And like there's a gas station that like I go to because it's on the way to work, and the pump card slider things are always broken, so I always have to. So I just started going inside just because like I want to avoid that.
Might be saving you scamming.
I know. I thought about that too. I thought about that too. But like at this particular gas station, it's a Circle K really close to where I work.
Oh, shit.
Dude, people go in there and they're like, they take their McDonald's in and they're sitting there eating McDonald's while they're standing in line and like drinking this big, probably Diet Pepsi to go with their McDonald's, right? Like, because it's just like, why are you eating in line, dude? Couldn't you have stopped here first before you went to McDonald's? Like,
they don't got time.
What?
They don't got time.
But
it's
just like, why are you doing that? Like, and then like, it's not like you're in line long enough to like finish, So like, why don't you just leave it?
Just wait, yeah.
Just leave it in your car, and then go back and eat it when you're done paying for whatever you're buying in here. I know you're buying those Marlboro Reds or that that dip or that whatever you're sticking in your mouth right now, but like.
Oh, did they open it before they paid for it too? Oh,
yeah.
Damn!
I'm just like, what are you doing?
I don't know. That doesn't so much bother me as the fact that I was like, whoa, like the balls on this person right now.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna pay for it, so I'm gonna eat it right here.
Yeah, it's like the people in the grocery stores too that like open the chips and they're eating the chips while they're shopping, and then they're like, oh, I bought these chips too. Pay for these.
Hold on, just to add on to the whole gas thing. One thing that really sets me off is like when you go to the pump, and they don't have the little latch thing, so it pumps itself, and it's like, oh my God, I gotta stand here and hold this damn thing.
Oh yeah, because like the clicky thing is just like
a winner right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yes, that's the worst too. That's why there's a gas station like right around the corner from my house that I refuse to go to for that specific reason, because
none of their pumps have the latch thing.
No, they have the latch thing. It's just they've been used so much that they unclick themselves after like 3 seconds because they're so used, and I'm like, I can't. I will go out of my way to go get gas to avoid this catastrophe of a problem.
It's so interesting. It's actually I remember someone I learned that if you're actually getting more if you hold the handle rather than the latch, because the latch doesn't give you the
Oh,
amount of
really?
gallons
Like
probs. Yeah.
it's not the
Yeah.
valve's not open all the way.
I don't
Right.
care.
So
It's worth
you're
it's worth the
getting
40 cents
less
in the end.
gas with the
Corey's
it's like,
like,
look,
Corey's
I
like,
got beef
fuck
with the
that.
gas station over here. I got chicken with over the gas station over here. Pork isn't serving in the gas station over there. We're not having this.
Oh my god.
And I like how we had this like really nice kind of sort of sophisticated conversation at the beginning of the night of recording, and then it's just evolved into terrible gas station
Shit
stories.
storms.
Like, what is going
Gas station shit storms.
Stephanie, do you have another one you want to throw out, or should we move on to our next topic?
I mean, like, I do have like a more of a first world problem. It's just not as funny. Like, for example, my son had to have a dentist appointment and he was late for school, and the school's like, well, you need to have a doctor's note to have an excused tardy. So I call the dentist's office to have them fax it. Guess what? The school doesn't have a working fax number. It broke or quote unquote or whatever. So I had to go call the dentist back and said their fax don't work. Can you please email to them? Oh well, the email, the file comes out blank. I'm like, are you freaking serious? So I had to drive 2 towns over to pick up a physical piece of paper that they had to print out, take a picture of it, and then email the school just so my son can have an excused tardy. So I know it's not as funny,
How
but it's
many?
like,
That's the worst. That sounds terrible.
I would have just did the balancing act. Like, how many unexcused absences, tardies or absences that he had this this
yeah.
quarter? If this is his first one, then dude just got to roll with this one.
Sounds like the worst Skyrim's quest of our
I know.
time.
Pretty much.
All right, well, that was a fun topic.
Oh man. All right, so this one will be quick, and then we'll get out of here. But it's it's kind of a similar topic, but like probably equally as funny. Maybe don't want to assume things, but like terrible jobs. We've all had those terrible jobs, right? That we're just like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Like before my current job, Stephanie LeRon, not only was I working that job, but I was also working 2 other side jobs to try to do live comfortably, I would say. Not that we were in bad shape, but like how like when you have that one job where you're like, I'm living comfortably if I don't spend any extra money.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't work for me. So but yeah, especially like towards the end of my time there, and by end I mean the last like almost a year, pretty much during like the pandemic and afterwards. I used to work at a car dealership, and when the pandemic hit, like everybody quit, and because they can collect unemployment and make like triple the money. And we needed benefits, which was, we had a kid, and we needed benefits, we needed that income, and I did what people should probably do to take care of their families. And so when everybody quit, I ended up taking the job was kind of divided into like 3 separate shifts, where like there was like the early shift, the normal day shift, and then like the you have to stay till close shift. So like the early person would get there at 5 o'clock in the morning, in this shipping department, and kind of get everything scanned in and situated. The second person would come in and like finish helping scan and then load this big box truck. And then the third person would come in like at like 9 and take the box truck up to the warehouse. Well, when the pandemic hit and after that, it was just me. And so I would I would get there at 4:30 in the morning and work until 6:30 at night, Monday through Friday. And then on Saturday I would go in at 4:30 and stay until 1. And then after that, we were still doing what we're doing now. Plus, like, I was working a side graphic design job, and I was trying to do all these other side things to try to like have a little bit of extra money. So that was a terrible job. Not that the people were terrible. Not that the job was like bad, but like that was just like a bad experience within this job. So yeah, that was fun. And I thought I was like, I don't know. LeRon, how would you explain my life, presenting my life at that point?
I feel bad for you. Let's just put it that way. I was like, man, okay, and like, so like in the black community, like man, you had more jobs than a Jamaican person at that point.
You do other jobs, man.
At least it's not as bad. It was like, we know you have a job, but we don't know what you do. We don't know how you're making your money.
Yeah, it's fair, I guess. Oh man.
Yeah, I feel like I celebrated better than you did when you got this job. I feel like I was the one that like celebrated.
I mean, I think everybody did. Dude, my state of mind at the end of that last job was like, I just thought, I don't know, I didn't like, my whole life was just on autopilot at that point. Like, okay, well, I have to get up at 4:30, or I have to get up at 4 to be there at 4:30. And like my whole life was just on autopilot, and like I literally had like, okay, I'm driving home now. I have to eat dinner. I have to put my kids to bed. Okay, I guess I'll prep for this podcast that we're doing here tonight, and then try to like, and then like the part that really killed me is when we did Boss Rush at night for E3 that year.
Oh yeah.
And we were like, yeah, let's live stream every night and talk about all the press conferences, and every episode ended up being like 4.5 hours. And I was like, I was like staying up till like 1:30 to edit all the episodes, and like I didn't even like bother processing like the audio and stuff, right? Like I didn't even bother like going through and like cutting things out or whatever. I was just like, video, intro, outro, process, let's go. And then they would process overnight, and then when I got to work the next day, I would get up, or when I woke up the next day, I would upload the videos. I would get up like 45 minutes before I really had to upload the videos. I was getting like 3 hours of sleep a night, maybe, during E3 that year. And then that Sunday when we were closed and like for work, and I got to sleep in, I think I slept till like 11 o'clock that day. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing.
Man, I don't know how you did not blow your brains out.
Man, probably because I couldn't find a gun. And
oh Jesus, don't say that.
No, probably with my luck, I would have missed or messed up, and would have ended up like Britney Spears in that South Park episode.
So you're gonna say Bob from 8 Mile or something?
Oh God!
Oh wow!
Well, 8 Mile though, man, that's a movie. Man, Brittany Murphy looks like she needs a shower in that movie. I just want to like wash you, but not in like a sexual way. Just like, you are just the dirtiest person.
We're gonna stop you there. We're gonna stop you there. We gotta stop you there. I'm just gonna save you now, because the virtual gun of your words is popping off right now, and you're gonna feel the backlash.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're gonna stop you there. Sounds like you got a great job. I feel happy for you. I feel pumped for you. So I'm glad you're out of that space.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the thing is too with the job that I have now is like my wife actually encouraged me to apply for this job, and I thought I was severely underqualified, and now.
And look at you now.
I know.
Yeah, she was like, I can't see this guy going through this, and I don't want to get yelled at for socks.
No, I just have more energy to yell about socks now.
When it was too early in the morning, you know what the hell you're putting on. It could have been Ugg boots.
I remember one time I was so tired that I put flip flops on with my work stuff. like,
Could have been
and just
worse.
walked out the door, and I was like, oh my gosh, I put flip flops on. And then I looked at my feet, and I like when I got to work, I looked in the back of my car, and I was like, well, good thing I have this like emergency pack here with like tennis shoes in it, and I just put them on. I'm like, look, guys,
Could
I
have been
forgot my
worse.
work shoes today. I'm wearing these. You're not gonna stop me.
Wait, didn't you work in an auto shop, man? Like, wow,
did.
like, it,
I did.
oh boy. I've
Respect.
had a bunch of jobs. But up to this point now and stuff, and I can find bad things with every single one of them. But I think the very first job I had, which I was in the Navy for 6 years. That was the very first job I had right out of high school and stuff like that. And I grew up a military kid, so I knew I wanted to join the military. But like it was supposed to be Army because my dad was a soldier and stuff like that, and I wanted to like kind of be like my dad. But my dad was like, no, don't join the Army because he was afraid that I might wind up in infantry or something, or like riding tanks or whatnot. Which in hindsight, riding tanks sounds kind of cool, but yeah. So I joined the Navy. I was in the Navy for 6 years. I went through nuclear propulsion school. And ultimately, like I did not make it to prototype school. So like I wound up not becoming a full-fledged nuke like they call it. And I just wound up going to the fleet as a regular like engineer, like electrician. And honestly, like I grew up. This is back in I grew up in the 80s. So in that time in that period of time it's not about who it's what like in the workforce and stuff like that. Like basically like the merit of your work is what's going to take you far and get you advanced in your career and stuff like that. I joined when I was coming into the military. Though the military was deciding they wanted to shift to being more political. Like political correctness was a thing, and stuff like that. So like I get in, and like it's a completely different game. Like for me, like like I'm training for first base, and now they threw me in outfield. Something like that. So yeah, so like I get in, stuff like that, like I'm not having the best time, but at the same time, the military is like, like, hey, like if you feel like what you're doing right now isn't the best fit for you, like just come talk to like a career counselor, and we'll see about getting you like placed, or like we'll see about getting you where you want to be and stuff like that. So yeah, I tried that route, and then come to find out, like apparently like doing it is fine, but once your company or division finds out you're trying to do that, oh, you're like scum at that point. And like the job got very terrible for me really fast, stuff like that. I wanted to get passed over for promotions and advancements and stuff like that, just for the simple fact is I wanted to stay in the military. I just wanted to get out of where I was at and stuff like that. So yeah, like it was one of those situations. And like back then I was like, yeah, I could easily do 20 years and get a pension. Like I don't mind like serving my country and stuff like that, because I grew up with family members that set an example for that stuff. But yeah, the military was definitely like not the institution I thought it was going to be by the time I got to it and stuff like that. So yeah, that's honestly my worst job. It's crazy to think, like the one major takeaway I had from it was that like all I had to do was basically get through that first enlistment. I would have got new orders to get to a different command post and stuff like that, and it probably would have turned around right there. But I was so traumatized by what happened to me at that point that I was like, no, I got to get out, because I can't do 4 more years of this. Yeah.
Wow.
Also, there's also one other story. Like I tell friends that either have kids, they're thinking about joining the military, stuff like that. Is I tell them my story, and then I always tell them like like of all the times for a teenage boy to not listen to their parents, that was it. That was it. I should have been like, fuck you, I'm doing what I want to do.
Oh, man.
That's my story. But I feel like every job I've had, with the exception of the job I have now, has been really shitty. Well, has shitty qualities. Because like I worked for GameStop for 8 years, and whew.
That sounds like a whole nother topic. For sure.
Like I started on the bottom floor and made it up to management. Whew, oh my god,
Man, this sounds like we should revisit this topic at some point. Because like
Yeah.
when I worked at the
Yes.
restaurant I used to work at, it was like, oh my god, do I have stories for that?
Yeah.
all right, I'm passing the mic now.
Yeah. Who wants to go next? Chase, you want to go
Yeah.
next?
I mean, I just have different experiences, but the one that I can think about is the job that mostly I I broke mentally was working at Lens Crafters, and it was
Oh,
because they had me. They started out. They were good with my schedule. Was in school, and I got the job by how I dressed. We used to dress in suits and just wherever I went, and the eye doctor was like, "Where do you work?" And I'm like, I'm actually looking for work. And they were like, "Oh, you want to work here?" I'm like, "Cool." So I started out in the lab, but then when they brought me out to the retail floor is when shit just got real, and the whole pressure of sales and making quotas and all these other things and trying to fill your time. And I mean, I did everything underneath the moon to try to at least go to that job with integrity until by not just imposing things on people that they just didn't want to buy. And they were like, "You got to make the sales quota, you got to do this, you got to do that." And just it just felt ostracized because when I left the lab, because everyone else was mostly like really hungry for those positions to kind of make their sales quotas and do things. But then there was this like family talk, but other people would get like birthday cakes and things like that. And my birthday came around and I was chopped liver.
Mm.
And
oh
I'm one of the
wow.
nice people that you could meet. And so it
Ooh.
just didn't even make sense to continue, the efforts. And
Mhm.
then one day I get like a letter
Yeah.
from the like client to say like, your one of your workers is really great, Chase. He did a really great job. He didn't force the lenses on this. And I was thinking, like, thank you. Someone gets the message that I'm not trying to just
Mhm.
push this stuff on people. I'm just trying to do my job and go home at the end of the day. And so, yeah, I would have to say that's just my experience.
Mm.
Man, yeah, sales jobs are tough. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just, I mean, they are what they are, right? But I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like they should reevaluate how those work sometimes.
yeah, definitely. Not going back there, but
Yeah.
can tell you what your glasses look like from.
Oh, Stephanie, you wanna?
Whew. I've definitely had some experiences at a supermarket when I had my first job as a teenager, but more so a retail pharmacy.
Mm,
Worst type of job ever, even as a pharmacist, because I started working at a CVS as an intern or a tech. That sucked. But even as a pharmacist, it still sucked. Ranging from as a pharmacist, even though corporate says you get a break, you don't get no lunch break. You rarely get time to pee. I've had medical complications because I didn't have the time or was allowed to really use the bathroom and stuff like that. And it's a thankless job. I've had customers that will get mad if you don't fill their narcotic, even though the script might be fake or they're filling it early. Then they'll scream and knock all the items off the shelves. We had people lock themselves in the bathroom trying to OD on cough syrup. We found a loaded gun in the bathroom. We saw someone OD in the parking lot. I had someone flip out on me because they didn't have an ID on them to purchase syringes. It just goes on and on. I've had
Wow.
someone say, "I'd like to speak to the pharmacist." And I go, "Hi, I'm the pharmacist." And he goes, "Are you the pharmacist?" I said, "Yes." And he just bursts out laughing. He goes, "No, no, no. I want to speak to the male pharmacist. He knows what he's talking about."
What?
This is. Mm-mm.
mm, that's
Mhm.
that's tough.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild that someone would say that because I feel like I trust female medical practitioners more than I trust male practitioners. And I have a very good doctor right now. My doctor, he's pretty awesome, But I feel like a female practitioner just I don't know. Maybe it's because I prefer like a softer touch, if that makes sense.
Sometimes when we touch.
He just had the balls to then continue to ask for my help. Like, he just showed me his foot and asked me to diagnose what was on his foot. I'm like, maybe I'll just let you speak to the male pharmacist. He might have a better idea of what's on your foot. Um, I've had people
But
like,
those lady feet are way different than them man feet.
yes, yep, totally
Yeah.
different. We're completely different. Birth control horror stories, where a girl tried to fill them half a month early, and as you know, birth control comes a month at a time usually. And you're like,
Wait. How'd she go through her birth control so fast?
Okay, well, let me get to the punchline. So, it's like, you're still like 2 weeks early. Have you been taking it once a day? She goes, "Ah, yeah, my boyfriend and I each take one once a day."
There we go.
God.
I'm positive. That's it. I'm out.
Mhm. Stuff like that. And
Oh.
it just, I could go on, but just stuff like that. And
Chase.
Chase.
Oh my God.
He took Chase out.
I was like,
I was not ready for that one.
your boyfriend might want to get checked.
This is before they made the.
This sounds like something that's made up for the internet, but because it's coming out of your mouth, I know it's true. It's real life.
Mhm. Someday I will write that book. I guess I'll throw just like one more out there just for shits and giggles. I opened up a brand new store where the New England Patriots play, and corporate's like, "Oh, you should get a gift basket for your first customer." I'm like, "All right, that's cheesy, but whatever." So I got like some gift basket for the first customer. Opening day, first thing in the morning, this lady comes in. All she wants is Plan B. She had a crazy night, a little whoopsie, and I'm like, Congratulations, here's a gift basket."
Oh.
It's just a weird thing to say. Congratulations, and here's your Plan B. And then but she took it in stride. She wanted me to take a picture of her with the gift basket, so I guess she's all right.
Okay, she was a trooper.
That's funny.
Yeah, you don't know the story behind that Plan B, right?
Exactly.
Maybe that was like,
She
this
might
is
be-
my consolation. This is my
Yeah,
consolation prize for last night.
She dodging some bullets. Well, I guess she didn't really, but
Oh.
we won't go there.
Oh my gosh.
Bad.
This is the best episode of After Dark in a while.
Yeah, a while, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God! Does anyone have a really quick one like they want to add to this, or are we done?
The rest of mine are really long and we'll probably take an
good.
entire episode.
I can give you
good.
another pharmacy anecdote, but it has to do with birth control just because my mind is.
All right, yeah, let her rip.
It's literally like a one-line punchline. A woman was wondering why it wasn't really necessarily working. And it's the oral birth control pills. She had been inserting them through a different orifice.
I heard some people so stupid.
I know, right?
Peace
I
out.
know.
Just peace out.
Yeah.
peace out. From
Yeah.
the place.
Well, everyone, that's going to do it for this edition of Boss Rush After Dark.
Oh my god.
Chase, we want to give you a big thanks for joining us tonight. It was definitely a pleasure to have you here with us on the show. Before we head out, let everyone know where they can find you at, please.
For sure. You can catch me in person. No, I'm just kidding. I'm at Chase Bethea on Twitter. And if you're interested in checking out some of my work, we'd love to have the followers on Spotify and Tidal and listen and check out my work on YouTube as well. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me. Ron, Stephanie, Corey, it's been a blast.
That's a good laugh.
Somebody's gonna be looking for you at Lens Crafters now. I guarantee it.
Look on, it ain't gonna be me. I ain't there. Keep looking.
All right. So on behalf of Corey and Stephanie here, I just want to go ahead and just sign this off. Thanks again for checking out Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the Boss Rush Network. And remember, this is the place where we talk about the stuff that's not always content appropriate for our other anchor shows here on the network. So we love you, and you guys have a good night. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.